Ocean Hill Zone, which has like a weirdly Egyptian, like track. I feel like it sounds vaguely Egyptian. I don't know. What do you think? Oh no! Every time! Every time! I'm like, I can make it! No, you can't. You're gonna fucking take that hit. You're gonna hold that L, bro. There we go. Whew. Man, I have completely lost track of what I, like, interrupted myself wanting to talk about and what I actually got finished talking about. Didn't like the cartoons. I mean, I liked them well enough. I watched them as a kid, but, like, I don't know. I don't have the, like, loyal affection for them that I know some people do. And that's also the same reason I'm not big on the Archie comics, because the Archie comics are just the Sad-Am cartoon. And again, I did own some Archie comics as a kid, too. Like, man, this was really the game that, like, Sonic was, like, my childhood, like, character. I'm trying to think of an appropriate word for it. Like, he was the character that I was invested in as a kid. And it helped that, fuck ass, every single time. It helped that we would go to Vegas pretty often. And we would stay at the Monte Carlo, and across the street from the Monte Carlo was this M&M factory. Well, like, that's what we called it. Like, the building housed on one side, goddamn, an M&M, an M&M, like, store. We called it, I think it was called the M&M factory. On the other side was, like, a Coca-Cola, store, which had a cool, like, soda bar on the top floor where you could sample shots of soda from, like, all of Coca-Cola from all over the world. And on the bottom floor, if you took the escalator down, it would take you to an arcade. And it was, like, a Sega-sponsored arcade. So you had, like, claw machines that had Sonic plushies in them. You had, like, Sonic advertised. Really? That's how you're gonna play me? That's what you're gonna do? Why the fuck would you make... I know that it's Oil Ocean, but why the fuck? Why the fuck would you... Woo! Why the fuck would you make... Man, these are the coolest. I always love anything like this. Any kind of transport, any kind of, like, both of these. The Pop-Tops that shoot up into the air, and the, like, shoot you along type thing. Oh, just anytime any of those are on a stage, it's the coolest stage. Why would you make fucking seahorse robots? Robotnik, I get that's Oil Ocean, but why? Why seahorses? Of all the things. That doesn't make any sense. You're such a hack. Anyway, like you'd have Sonic advertisements on the wall, like he was the mascot of the fucking arcade. And they actually did have a cabinet of Sonic the Fighters at that arcade, and I do remember playing Sonic the Fighters, and I got embarrassingly good at it. So, like, even if I wasn't already fond of, like, Sonic as a concept and play the games, like, it was there. Like, Sonic paraphernalia was abundant in my childhood. I watched the cartoons, I fucking, like, the comics were there, he was advertised at the fucking arcade that, like, I frequented on our family trips. Like, he's the character I had access to. So it just goes to figure. And this is the game that had Tails in it. And he's a little fox. And there you go. That's actually not the case. Like, it's not that, oh, I like Tails. Now I'm all Foxeh. Like, he certainly contributed. He did his fair share of contribution. Here's this character in this series that I like, whom I really like, who's super awesome. Like, Tails is such a fucking awesome character. Although they do kind of, like, spin their wheels with him a little bit. But, oh, Jesus. That's why it's weird going back and looking at how his character started out as being this, like, tag-along fanboy who would be like, "Oh, Sonic, he's so cool," and I'm gonna, like, follow along behind him, and he doesn't even, like, pay attention, really. Ugh. And it's, like, Tails' own ambition, like, to be acknowledged by his hero, by his role model, that pushes him forward. And through the course of this game, like, he is, like, still a kid and still isn't, you know, on Sonic's level, but he helps out and contributes and, like, endears himself to Sonic to the point that Sonic, like, their relationship eventually develops to the point, like, not immediately at the end of this game, but they do eventually find themselves at the point where you would be hard-pressed to describe... You okay there, Tails? Glitching out a little bit. Glitching out a little bit, Tails! It's okay, buddy, we're here for you. Oh no, Tails! It's okay, man! We'll get through this together! Oh no, Tails! You okay, buddy? It's okay. You're alright. You'll be fine. It's fine, we're at the end of the stage. So sad. Ah, come on! How do they even... Woo! What the fuck even happened there? The Wii version of this is pretty glitchy. Like, that's been too many in a row to just write it off. Like, nah, the Wii emulated version of this is pretty fucked up. Like, by the end of this game, Sonic's to the position where he's like, yeah, that's fucking Tails. He's my sidekick. He can follow along, he helps out. I don't mind him being around. It's good to have him palling around behind me. But, like, by the time we get to the modern games, like, you'd be hard-pressed to describe them as anything else but brothers. Like, they're fucking bros. Like, they're best buddies. Like, they're fucking life partners. Like, even, that does get a little bit away. Like, after a point, the trio, like, the power... Yeah. Oh, this stage is awesome. The power trio does start being a little bit more prominent, but starting out, like, after this game, it's definitely the dynamic duo. That's their relationship. They're the fucking dynamic duo. And even that will develop further as we go forward in the series. Oh, come on. Why gotta play me that way? I saw it coming. I was like, oh, I'll just keep walking forward. Oh, wait, shit! That's great. Whatever, we have like fucking 20 lives. We're so not in any kind of worry. I'd have already gotten a game over by this point in fucking Sonic 1. And had to have used the continue. I think we have a bunch of continues that we're just gonna have no need for. So, oh, Tails flying up triggered the floor. Come on, buddy. You see, like, that's a weird kind of, how do you want to say, conveyance with the characterization, because you start out actually being in Sonic's position of being ambivalent / leaning on slightly annoyed by Tails, but by this point in the game, you're like, yeah, bro, yeah, buddy, let's kick it. We're kicking it together, come on, keep up. And that's just, like, mechanically speaking, you see the way Tails is keeping up with Sonic, and you're like, Tails is just as fast as Sonic. Like, what makes Sonic so special, just based on the gameplay, and of course, like, the only reason Tails can keep up with Sonic is because he's got the addition of an extra tail to propel him along. Sonic's just that fast, and naturally, Tails needs his tails to keep up with him. But you also kind of get the impression that Sonic is deliberately slowing himself down so that Tails can keep up. And that's... fuck you. And that's like this cute little thing that's like not explicit at all, but that thought occurs like Sonic could leave Tails in the dust if he really wanted to, but he doesn't. He slows himself down so that Tails can keep up. And we've actually seen that like in the intro for Sonic Heroes, which is off the top of my head the example I can think of. I'm sure there are others. We see, like, Sonic running along with Knuckles and Tails in close pursuit, like, keeping up with him, but then, like, in that intro, you see him, like, suddenly grab their arms and, like, hold on to them, and then, boom, take off, like, break the sound barrier in a dash of supersonic speed, and just take off, dragging them along, and it's like, yeah, they could... If Sonic really wanted to, he could fucking just... BAM! Shoot forward. Oh, god damn it. And they could just, like, they would be hopeless trying to keep up. But he doesn't, because they're his buddies. And he's not gonna leave them behind, you know? It's so sweet. Anyway. So, Tails isn't, like, the primary thing that influenced foxiness. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I like Tails, foxiness. Like, that's the origin story of it. There was actually a fun, I say, if I do say so myself, I don't know, I've just always felt like, which came first? Do I like foxes because I like Tails, or do I like Tails because I like foxes? It's probably the latter. I probably have the affinity I have for Tails because he's a fox. I probably saw Tails and I was like, fox! That's awesome, I like foxes. Like, it predated Tails, but my appreciation for Tails as a character still contributed to, my development. I'm like being so... Wow, really? That's how you're gonna do? That's how you're gonna do? That's how you're gonna do? That's how we're gonna do? That's how we are now. That's what it is. I'm like trying to be as PG as possible with my descriptions of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Why? I've done nothing. I've done so much. So, like, the fact that, like, Tails is, like, probably the most dynamic character. He's probably the character who actually undergoes any degree of character development at all, because Sonic is kind of stagnant. He never really changes. Sonic is now what he's always been. Like, he's the same character. Again! I keep mistiming it! I mistime it. Fuck. That's on me, no Johns. The fucking Sonic 1. My performance in Sonic 1 is such Johns. I like blaming everything but myself. I'm not fronting. I'm not trying to play Johns here. I'm bad at that game because I don't have a lot of experience with it. Fuck you! Yeah! What now, motherfucker? Oh, you got nothing! Just stand there and wait for death! But just, I can't help but say, like, this game just feels like it plays better. I don't know what to tell you. It feels better in my hands than Sonic 1 did. No! Yes! No! Come on, okay. How am I gonna do this? I'm bad at video games, as you can see. That's abundantly clear. I'd just take a different route. Jesus, stop bashing your head against that and go a different way. So many alternative routes in the Sonic fucking games. Like, you can just... Here's what I'm gonna do instead. Watch this. Fuck you, I'm just gonna go this way now. Oh! Oh, well played, sir, well played. I took you for granted, I underestimated you, but you've proven yourself a worthy adversary. Fucking asshole. Because Sonic's kind of a stagnant character. He's kind of is as he has always been. Like, he started out from day one being this kind of semi-aloof hero, but that's what I was trying to talk about. Like, that's what I like about Sonic, like, as a heroic figure, is he's not a goody two-shoes who, like, goes out seeking to do the right thing. He's just, like, this super fast little hedgehog who, as long as the wind is at his back, he seeks out, he is constantly in search of the next adventure. But, of course, wherever he goes, he helps out. He fights the bad guy. He saves people. And it's not because, oh, I'm a hero and that's what I gotta do. I gotta, with great power comes great responsibility. He doesn't have any kind of, moral obligation. He doesn't have any kind of, there's no thought process that goes into it. He's not making the conscious decision to be a cool guy hero dude and go out there and help people. He's just the kind of person that not doing the right thing wouldn't even occur to him. Like, it would never occur to Sonic to not help someone who is in need of helping. It would never occur to Sonic to not get involved with, this evil bad guy who's, trying to take over the world or what have you. And, Robotnik's his nemesis, but if there was any other kind of bad guy, it wouldn't occur to him to be like, hey, you can just run along and go somewhere else and not get involved in this. He would probably be like, well, what would the fun in that be? Where would the fun be in not fighting this guy? Where would the fun be? He's motivated by amusement and adventure, but what he finds fun is beating up the bad guy and saving people. And that's just a cool, I don't even know how, why that stands out to me so much about him as a character. He's just this cool guy who's like, yeah, that sounds sick, let's do it. Let's go fucking save the world, because it sounds like a fun way to spend our time. There's just something about that tickles me. There's something about that I can't help but feel like that sets him a rank above other, video game protagonists. I don't know, especially compared to, at the time this game came out. Let's go check out what this weird new thing is, and, oh shit, people need help. Let's go help them. Why'd you do that? I need a reason? That's his reason. He doesn't need one. It's so great, but, the only zone with 3 acts. You get to that point and you're like, Act 3! Oh shit! Ah, damn it, I thought I could jump on that. Son of a bitch! Fuck ass. You're such a bastard, you know that? Oh! But, you get to that point and you're like, oh shit, Act 3, what the fuck? Because Sonic 1, every single stage was 3 acts and it would end with the fight. And then you get used to this and you're like, oh, it's 2 acts and the fight is at the end of the 2nd act. Should I be on the roof right now? What? That's sometimes a gimmick. Sometimes there'll be, gravity gimmicks, but no. Anyway. But, all that being said, Sonic never really changes. He never develops. He never undergoes an arc and goes oh, now I am a different person. And he doesn't need to. You don't need, a character doesn't... I always praise it when I see it. I'm always a big advocate of, look, see, he started out the story with his personality being like this, and then he underwent character development. For some reason, that's almost crushed myself. That's something that, always carries distinction of praise in my mind for some fucking reason. Fuck you. But not every character needs that. Not every character needs to change. Sonic is perfectly fine as he is. In fact, if he changed, you would have to make a really strong argument for what he's changing, like what his character is changing to, because otherwise it'd be like, no, that's not Sonic. Sonic's a static character, but that doesn't make him a bad character. Like some characters, seriously, I'm fucking doomed, aren't I? I can't get up there. Some characters, like, you nailed it. Oh my god, I can't get up there. Fuck. Okay. Like, you nailed it. Like, Toph from, Avatar The Last Airbender is also another good example I point to of a static character. A character who undergoes no character development, who undergoes no change from how they started to how they end. They are, from day one, as they will remain. But that's fine. Like, Toph's a great character. You don't need to change it to anything. Like, you nailed it. That's, like, some characters, their central conflict is internal. Their conflict is there's something flawed or... Oh my god! There's something about them that is not whole. And through the course of the story, they develop and become more of who they're meant to be. That's what happens to Tails. He starts out being this meek sidekick, like run along following behind type character with like a slight mechanical bent. Like, that's a very minor facet of his character at this point. Like, the only real the only way that shows up is that he pilots the plane, and that's kind of it. Like, he really starts out... I saw it coming, but it was too late. He really starts out his life as a character as a sidekick, as, like, Sonic Light, basically. Whew. But as the series goes on, as the games continue from here, and even to a minor degree, you have character development, and he starts out as being this tag-along kid, and then becomes accepted as Sonic's sidekick, and bro, and little buddy. Like, he starts out being, like, Sonic's little buddy. He starts out being less of a, like in the Dick Grayson sense of the word sidekick, like the little kid who is there for, like, I don't know, family appeal or something like that. Like, he really is the Robin to Sonic's Batman. He's not an equal. He's, there to help out. I'm really repeating myself here, I guess. Fuck you, Eggman! You ain't got shit! Ain't got shit! What do you got? Nothing! Save my animal buddies. But even there, like, he has, like, minor character development in this game alone, but then as the series goes on, he really Yeah. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Dun 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 dun. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Dun dun dun. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Da 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 da. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Dun da. Da da. Oh man, this was it. I think this was it. Like, this is very close to the last level, but like, this really set it apart. Like, this is a little, like, 16-bit Genesis game, and this level has this, like, majesty to it. Like, fucking, like, I can show you the world. That is the feeling that is invoked in my heart playing this level. Like, I can show you the world, Tails, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, little fox, when did you last let your heart decide? Anyway, also, to be noted, this plane is not Tails' plane. It's Sonic's plane. That's why his name is on the side of the plane. This is his plane, and Tails pilots it. And it's an important thing to distinguish. Sonic's plane is the tornado. Tails has his own planes, but this, like... Damn it, I wasn't paying attention. Like, the biplane design of it, that is distinctly owned by Sonic. And, like, this is the only hint we get of what, like, Tails will eventually evolve into as a character. Like, oh, he can pilot the plane. But going forward from here, he'll start to